Hi, and welcome back to UncoverFraud.com. My name is David Melamed, and I am a forensic accountant and fraud investigation expert with over 20 years of experience. Today, I want to talk to you about Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett's insight into identifying financial statement fraud. A shareholder of Berkshire Hathaway asked Warren Buffett on his experience in detecting financial fraud. Mr. Buffett said that he is skeptical with anyone who has an idea that is too good to be true. In addition, Mr. Buffett was amazed how widespread the use of EBITDA is used to dress up financial statements. The shareholder asked a question pertaining to cash flow analysis. He asked that based on the practices of numerous corporations deliberately fabricating cash flow numbers, which occurred in some of the telecoms, where they characterize like-kind exchanges as product sales, how do you ferret out this type of fraud? What can a shareholder, an individual investor, do short of obtaining a degree in forensic accounting, do to uncover this type of fraud? The question was perceived as a big ask. If you want some simple way of not being taken in by the frauds of the world, if you stop to think about it, that enormously talented people deliberately committing fraud drift gradually into what the culture carried them to, and the frauds get very sophisticated and they're very slickly done. So what can the shareholders or investors do? I think it's part of the investment business of getting wisdom in life that avoids getting taken by the frauds. But the answer is not short or simplistic. There are whole business areas that you can abandon because it looks like there's too much fraud in it. Just think about the electric vehicle industry. Think about Lordstown. Think about Nikola. Think about all of the sales that these two companies, these electric vehicle companies, said that they had pre-made, and how their vehicles were not even in operation or being built. And Buffett thinks that their team has done a lot of that over the years. How many times has Berkshire Hathaway been defrauded in the last 20 years? Point blank, very little. It's amazing how little. The kind of people who could have defrauded their team are not going to be the kind of people who are defrauding everybody else. Buffett proudly claimed that they haven't and won't get defrauded often. Now that may mean that they pass up a whole lot of opportunities. But, for example, if you consider cash flow, the number of times Berkshire was going to buy into a company, whether through stocks or through purchasing the entire company, where people were not talking about it, is about zero. It's very interesting if you look at some successful companies like Walmart, General Electric, Microsoft. Look at their annual reports. I mean, when people are manipulating that sort of thing, either they're trying to con you in some way, or they con themselves to a great degree. I mean, it's both. And that often happens. I mean, if you set out to con somebody, after a while, you kid yourself, which is why some of the people in the internet stocks stayed with them. If somebody is focusing so that numbers look bigger than they really are, it is bigger than it really is anyway. I mean, the implication of that number is that it has great meaning. For example, take telecom spending every dime that comes in. I mean, in many cases, you don't see it in cash flow. I mean, the cash flow is out. The cash is flowing out. But if you know where to look in the financial statements, there's billions of dollars supposedly, and depreciation and so on. But there is an interest expense. Actually, taxes are also going to be an expense. Beware of anybody that tells you that making a lot of money before taxes in terms of EBITDA is meaningful. You know that you get depreciation by laying out money ahead of time. It's the worst kind of expense. Berkshire looks for getting the money first and then paying out later on. But depreciation occurs because you buy an asset first and then you get the deduction later on. It's the worst kind of expense there is. And you start paying taxes when you actually make money. And depreciation runs out at some point. So it just amazes me how widespread that the usage of this type of evil has become. And I would say there have been people who have tried to dress up financial statements in a way to appeal to people who were impressed by such a number. Buffett could not have said it any better. Many of the crooks look like crooks. I mean, they identified it. Berkshire has not shorted them, but have spotted a lot. Frauds over the years in public companies is where the roof fell in and the structure was usually held up by people. People that tell you things that are too good to be true. For one thing, I mean, they tell you very mediocre businesses are wonderful businesses for one reason or another. And I wouldn't say that's true, and sometimes it's amazingly obvious. Now, you and your money can be easily parted with bad investments, and it is always important to do your due diligence, to speak to investment advisors, and to actually look at the financial statements. If you're interested in learning how to read the financial statements and do some of these ratios, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video below. Again, my name is David Melamed, and I am a forensic accountant and fraud investigation expert with over 20 years of experience. To find out more about me and the services we offer, please visit uncoverfraud.com. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, God bless.